Hello. Past couple of weeks we've been looking at the whole idea of remembrance. The idea of remembering, putting something back together in our minds. Something that we cherish or in some cases something we want to forget. We've also been looking at remembering loved ones, remembering aspects of them, remembering things that transcend our ideas of relationship. I wanted to take this a little bit further today because memory is a wonderful thing, and you might have seen lots of things about memory training, and the Greeks had this wonderful thing for remembering lots of information called the memory palace. There are animals that remember as well. We will talk about the memory of an elephant, don't we? And certainly cats have a memory. They'll certainly remember that they've not been fed in a year or two, and they'll bring that up at every moment. That's cats for you. But human beings in particular have this business of memory and seeking to preserve the past, holding on to the past. One of the things that I find rather wonderful about the memory is that it's rather odd in that we always remember the past, but we don't remember the future. And you think, well, why is that? Why is it that we remember what's gone before us, and not the stuff that's going to come? And so that really does link together the whole idea of memory and time. That perhaps as human beings we experience time precisely because we are beings that we have a memory. And there's a debate going on, and it's quite a fascinating debate as to if we didn't have memory, would there be such a thing as time? Certainly, if modern cosmology is correct, then the universe doesn't end in a big crunch, but just keeps on expanding and expanding. And the implication is that eventually everything will be so far spread out that it will just all fizzle away to nothingness. And if there's no sort of matter moving, if there's no movement, is there such thing as time? If there's nothing to measure time, does time exist? It's like that old caricature of philosophy. If a tree falls in the wood and there's no one around to hear it, does it make a sound? Certainly forgetfulness diminishes us. Now, for some things, that's good. There are things that we need to forget. But there are also things that we don't need to forget. Some aspects of our past. And sometimes those aspects of the past bubble up. We've not really forgotten them. Perhaps we've put them out of our mind, but nonetheless they bubble up. Those secret sins that we meet in Psalm 19. Those things that are there, that we've done, that are in our past, and yet we don't remember. And if we don't remember, well, then the Greeks have a word for that, and it's based upon the river Lethe, which was the river of the underworld, which when you drank of it, it would cause you to forget. It would cause you to forget your life on earth. But related with that, if I don't forget, and with Greek you always put the little prefix a in front. So alethi. If you're a Greek scholar, immediately you're noticing that aletheia, is the Greek for truth. So truth is something that comes about from not forgetting. It's there. It's something objective. Our past, in some sense, still exists. And our future already exists. We don't perceive it because we are creatures of memory. And while some occasionally have those glimpses of precognition, there are people who seem to be able to do that. That's why we perceive perhaps time passing. And it also points out to us how we as earthbound creatures engage with God. Because we engage with God by seeking the truth. And the truth means not to forget. It means that we will be presented, either in this life or in the next, we will be presented with those things that we have forgotten. Perhaps those things that we have deliberately forgotten. And so the question is now, how do we deal with them? Should we deal with them in this present life? The sacrament of confession is there to help precisely with this, so that one searches one's soul and allows that truth to bubble up, so that we are cleansed from our secret faults. And perhaps that's why we do have time. God gives us this ability, because time is something where we can exercise our will and make our choices and think about the things that we've done that are right and think about the things that we've done that are wrong and amend ourselves and grow in the grace that he gives us. For God gives us grace, and we are saved through him giving grace and doing things with it. We have to reflect upon our lives. And as we have been through 2 weeks, essentially, here in the middle of November, as we've been through 2 weeks of remembering, we've also got to remember something else. And that's something that's coming up again in our cycle, which is the coming of Advent. And the year, like a wonderful spiral, brings us round to Advent again, for us to remember. It gives us that opportunity to remember to grow, to remember to engage with what God gives us, to think about, reflect upon what God has done in the previous year, to help us to look forward to Christmas, which is a big remembrance. It's a remembrance of something that has happened, and yet we still benefit from right now. We benefit from eternally. The incarnation of Christ may be something that has a fixed duration in our time and space, but its influence is eternal, and we know that Christ is present with us now. Christ is here with you and with me, present with us, not in location, but in that thing beyond location. He is present with us now. So those who say, oh, Christ can't be here, he is in heaven, how can he be with you? He is with us. He will be with us always until the end of the age. That's what he says. And so we remember that. We come to this wonderful time of year where we go back into spiritual preparation, the Advent, the season of fasting for Christmas, where we sit down and we prepare ourselves, we think about, we reflect on what we know of death, judgment, heaven, and hell. We think about those things, the four last things. We think about where we are placed with them and come to this wonderful event of Christmas anew, an event that we are remembering, and yet we're engaging with it anew, because we're not the same person coming back to that old Christmas. That Christmas is going to be new for us. The baby Jesus is going to be new again for us. So while it is a memory, it's a memory that's treasured by the church, it's a memory that the church gives us, that Christ himself gives us to bring us back to ourselves, to bring us to truth, to bring us to not forgetting, to bring us to doing things in remembrance of him. And so remembrance is utterly connected with the truth and being mindful of our Lord God. So, God bless you. God bless you if you have something in your past that you are struggling to come to terms with. God bless you that you may be shown how to deal with the truth, and that you may be given salvation through your engagement with Christ. God bless you if your memories are sad. God bless you that you may be shown the truth of those happy times which maybe you have forgotten. Or if there are none, then may God provide you with times ahead which are full of joy and full of hope, that you may see the truth and rejoice. God bless you that as beloved children of God, we are not forgotten, but we are part of his existence, part of his truth. We are the sons of God by adoption and by grace. God bless you, and please pray for me.